This is my second video of all time. The first video was on something called geo arbitrage, which is essentially if you can work remotely, if you work from the internet, if you if you work over your computer and don't need to be at a physical location in an office, if you can work from home or work on your laptop and that's your full-time job and you can do that. It just means moving from an expensive location, expensive city, in my case it was Los Angeles, to an inexpensive city, much more inexpensive city, like in my case it was Tucson. It doesn't have to even be a city like Tucson that you move to, it can be a small town. But you know, I've cut my expenses from about $5,500 a month down to $1,100 a month by that move. So there were challenges making new friends, being able to keep old friends. I'm in the desert now. I guess LA is a desert, but it doesn't feel like it. Different culture here, but you know, I've been here for 2 years and it's good. And you know, my rent every month, you know, I'm saving for a house and stuff like that. So you know, $600 a month is my rent here, and the deposit was $100. So the deposit was $100. In LA, this same apartment, $2,600, $2,700, and the deposit would be another $2,600 or $2,700. Anyway, that was what the video was last week. I thought that was an important one to do because it's reflective of what's happened in my life and the financial freedom and removal of stress that it's given me. So that's something to consider. It's a major decision. Anyway, see the video, write in the comments, or you know, send me any messages if you have any questions that you think I can answer. So today's video is on an investment strategy called the permanent portfolio. It was created by Harry Browne. He's passed away. I ran across it on YouTube actually. Some remote workers, guys with businesses that were traveling around the world, they talked about this permanent portfolio, and it attracted me for a couple reasons. One is that I've never known what to do with money. I mean, I graduated from UCLA. I have educated parents, and they didn't teach me anything about money, nothing. I think they were kind of self-obsessed into what they were doing. They just didn't take the time to teach me about money, and it is so important. So that's why I'm talking now. That's why I created this channel. And so basically what the permanent portfolio is, it's conservative investment strategy that only requires you looking at it and adjusting it once per year. So let me explain. So the premise of the permanent portfolio is that you rely on your business or your work for your income. You do not rely on investments to support you ever. So you know, trying to time the market, trying to buy this hot stock, trying to, you know, make money with your investments, trying to make more than what the market gives is a no-no in the permanent portfolio. That's not what you do. Basically, you rely on your career or careers or sources of passive income or some combination thereof for your income, and the permanent portfolio is where you store that money in a relatively safe way, and in a way where you're not tempted to speculate or invest or panic if the market goes up or down. If you hear any squeaking, that's my cat playing with their toy in the background, who I love very much. So that's the first premise, is you never speculate with your money. The permanent portfolio, I keep pronouncing it, the permanent portfolio is where you store your money. And you look at it once a year and you adjust it accordingly. I'll explain that quickly. I try to make this whole video quick because the permanent portfolio is quick and easy. So that's the first premise. You earn all your income through your businesses, whether you're a carpenter or a plumber, or you know, you're a plumber and you've written some books, whatever you bring in, that's what you rely on to live and to put into your investment. So anyway, I know I'm belaboring that point, but that's key. The second thing is that you don't assume that you can ever re-earn that money again. So if you made $30,000 last year and you figure, you know what, man, I know the gold's going to go up. I know it. It's got to. You know, the tensions in the world, this and that, and you could decide to put it into gold. Well, the permanent portfolio would say, no, don't do that. because you're assuming that if you lost it, that you would be able to regain it again. And so you treat every dollar that comes in as precious, and you put it somewhere. So that's the second assumption. So okay, so the permanent portfolio is basically taking your assets, whatever comes in, and putting it into 4 slots, 25% each of whatever amount of money you have. So here we go. And this is all the program is, really. It's you put 25% into market indexes. So something that follows the whole market. You can look it up or talk to someone about it. Vanguard has a fund. Other things have a fund. Basically, you can go no load, which means you don't have to pay commission or anything like that. So, but you don't buy individual stocks. You don't buy a segment of the market. You buy something that follows the entire S&P 500 or the Dow. So if the Dow goes up 10%, your holdings go up 10% for that amount of time. So you put 25% of your money into that. The next 25% go into treasury bonds. So you put 25% into treasury bonds. You try to get the longest maturity dates on the treasury bonds as possible. I've run into some issues because I didn't have the capital to get the really long treasury bonds. So, but anyway, you put it into treasury bonds, and you get the longest maturation date, and once that maturation date approaches, then you get ready to put into another long bond. The whole thing with the permanent portfolio is that you're not going to be taking the money out until you need it, until you retire, essentially, until you have enough to live off the interest, conservative interest. So 25% into market index funds, 25% into treasury bonds. The next 25% is cash. So that means you put it into a CD, a money market account, something that's easily accessible, and something hopefully that gets a little bit more than your standard savings account. Okay. So the fourth is physical gold. So you take 25% of your money and you buy physical gold, not ETFs about gold or some kind of abstract. You have it stored elsewhere. You can have it stored in a safe deposit box, but you own physical gold, and so you can store it, at a safety deposit box. You can store it in your house in a safe area no one would ever look for. You can put it in your backyard. I don't know, but 25% of that. So it's 25% into a market index fund that follows the entire market, 25% into treasury bonds, 25% into cash, which means CDs or money market, and 25% into physical gold. Now, the permanent portfolio looked at the data over the past maybe 50 years, I think. You'll have to look in the book to find out, to see how it's done, if someone had done exactly that, over 50 years. And basically, it returned annually 4% after adjustment for inflation and the taxes that you would pay on it. So you're getting 4% a year, after inflation and taxes. So that's what you get. That's what it is predicted that you're going to get. None of this stuff's guaranteed. But that 4%, you will be reinvesting and it will be compounding. And if you don't know about the power of compound interest, go on Google, type in compound interest calculator, and it'll show you how much, as long as you don't pull the money out and you allow the interest to get reinvested all the time, and it compounds, and it's really a powerful thing. And then the fifth element is that you max out your 401ks, your IRAs. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and Google it. But basically, it's a way to let your money accumulate tax-free until you pull it out. And that's one way it works. But basically, max that out. So that's it, essentially. And then once a year, you readjust. So let's say gold has gone up in value. So if I look at all my money, if I have $100,000, that's not the amount that I have. But if I have $100,000 and 25,000 of my 100,000, 25% is in gold, and gold's gone way up. It's tripled. So now I've got much more money into gold than I have in the other three. So I readjust it till it equals about 25% again. And I do that the same time every year. For me, it's May 11th. That's a personal date of my life. So it's when a family member passed. So that's when I do it for me. And the sixth, and I think the final element of the permanent portfolio is to keep some assets outside of your home country. So it's kind of controversial, but many people who do the permanent portfolio, when I listen to them on YouTube, they put their gold outside of the country. You know, it's kind of a paranoid investment, this sixth thing to keep something out of the country. But, you know, when you look historically at the Great Depression, or you look at situations in other countries, rare situations, but extreme financial hardship, you know, that could be helpful. I don't know. But that is definitely a part of it. So that's it, you know. Most people who speculate, most, like 95, 99% of the people lose money, and they lose a lot of their money or all of their money. And speculators, they think they do a lot better than they do. So they it's a psychological truism principle. It's been demonstrated in studies that when people succeed at speculation or gambling, they remember that a lot more and a lot clearer, and they attribute that to their own skill, versus when they lose, they tend to not talk about it, not think about it, not acknowledge it as much. And so people think they're much better speculators than they are. And the most powerful thing for me, which for a long time was, I heard that, you know, there have been studies where, experiments where, you know, MBAs from Stanford and Harvard, not that that means you're great or anything. I know Bill Gates and Steve Jobs did not graduate from college, but these guys that are highly trained at the best business schools in the world, they were not able to beat the market. They were not able to beat the Standard & Poor index funds. That's shocking to me. Like these big managers with great educations of these big money funds, investment funds, they were not able to beat the market consistently. So it's crazy to me. So I don't know how that's possible, but I believe it. So basically, the permanent portfolio is a way to hold on to the money that you've earned and protect it and have it grow somewhat substantially in a conservative way, having gold as a hedge, and not speculating with it, not looking at the market. If the market goes up and crashes and gets huge, it doesn't matter. So I have a little bit of gold, right? So gold has gone up recently. What is today? January 6th. So it's gone up substantially in the past 2 weeks. It doesn't matter to me. It's actually even better if I don't watch it, because I'm not going to look at it until, it's not going to matter to me, you know, until 30 or 40 years down the road. It's not going to matter. So it's kind of it lets the stress off, you know. People are very stressed about money when they're losing money, and speculation is very dangerous. Most people lose money. It's gambling, and if you're not one of the big dogs with a lot of inside information, which is illegal to have anyway, don't do it. So just focus on expanding your career, expanding if you're doing small businesses, expanding that business. If you want passive income, I'm going to talk about that on this channel. And focus on that, getting your income up, and just, you know, each month taking some money, putting it into one of the 25% slots, you know, market indexes, treasury bonds, cash, which means money market or CDs, and physical gold. And that's it. That's all you have to do. There are other things about financial freedom, like cutting your expenses and, you know, a psychological mind change in terms of keeping up with the Joneses and things like that. But this is a major part of it, and a major part of it for me. And you know, it's conservative. I mean, it's not the most conservative. I could take all my money and put it under my bed, but that won't keep up with inflation, and I would like my money to earn something. But trying to get, you know, returns of 10% a year after inflation and taxes, or 25% a year, or trying to double my money, it's never worked for me in the past. I haven't done it a lot, but you know, I'm the kind of guy that always loses at those carnival games, you know. At the carnivals and stuff. It's just not for me. I'm just not. This is the way I got to go. So that's it. Permanent portfolio. Harry Browne. I need to say, I should have said this at the beginning of the video, that I'm not a financial advisor. Don't have any certifications. And who knows what's going to happen, you know? This is, to me, a relatively safe thing to do. This is what I do. I'm telling you what I do. I would recommend this to my personal friends. I would recommend it to my children, to my family. So that's why I'm talking about it here. But again, you know, think about it carefully and make your own decisions, because money is a serious issue in our world. So permanent portfolio, a kind of foundation of ease of mind and financial security and financial freedom. Just focusing on your business and your income sources, and putting your money into the permanent portfolio way automatically without thinking about it, and adjusting it once per year. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe.